If you want to act like terrorists, then you should be treated like terrorists. Hi, it's me again, and to be honest, I'm getting a bit fed up now with all these eco-mobs and their stupid stunts, and stunts that don't even make any sense at all. Did you see this earlier this week? Look. Cops nab 35 eco-loons after Sun's tip helped them haul protesters off gantries as soon as they climbed up. So these eco-lunatics climbed up the gantries where they hold like the electronic signs and that over the M25 in 3 different places, closing the M25 in 3 different places. Already known as Europe's car park, the M25 is an absolute joke, that road, at the best of times, and then they've closed it. How? Please explain to me how. It's Just Stop Oil is the campaign. They don't want people using oil or burning oil. And they close one of the busiest, or not the busiest road in the UK, where people are going to sit there, because it's quite chilly in the mornings, with their engine running, doing 0 miles to the gallon, burning more fuel than they would have burned if you let them get on with their day. None of it makes any sense at all. And this story, as the headline said, the Sun infiltrated the gang and grassed them up to the rozzers, and that's what got this one over and done with a bit more quickly. But, you know, the police were there, and fair play to the police. They got it done a lot quicker this time than they got when the eco-mob done the Queen Elizabeth Bridge, wasn't it, in Dartford. They got it taken care of a lot quicker. But what's going to happen to these people? You know, because they are now basically terrorists, aren't they? That is what they're doing. They're not eco-campaigners at all. They're terrorising people and ruining people's day, lives, livelihood. I mean, 2 people died, didn't they, because of the Dartford crossing one, because ambulances and things couldn't get across. That's on them. That is on them. It just is, isn't it? 23 people were held after the Just Stop Oil campaigners climbed gantries over the M25, hoping to disrupt journeys for tens of thousands of motorists. They glued and locked themselves onto sign structures at 13 locations from 7:30 a.m. having boasted it would be the biggest demonstration in British history. But 6 forces from across the southeast created a ring of steel around London's orbital motorway. Specialist teams were already in place, including officers with climbing equipment and cherry pickers, so any protesters could be quickly removed. So yeah, I mean, we all have a go at the Sun, but if it weren't for the Sun infiltrating the gang and getting this information and grassing them up to the rozzers, that would have been a lot worse. It could have taken a day again to get them down. The M25 closed for 2 rush hours. It would have been an absolute joke. So say what you want about the Sun, and we all do, because it's an easy target, isn't it? They did do something good here for once. But it does beg the question, why did it need to be the Sun to do it? What are the police doing to prevent these things? If a journalist from the Sun can infiltrate the group and get all the information, where's the police in all of this? Why are they not doing it? Why should it be left to newspaper journalists to take care of this? What are the police doing? And this is only going to escalate. You know what these groups are like. And there's more groups popping up every day of the week. Something's got to be done. There needs to be much harsher, much more draconian sentences for these people to stop them doing it. Otherwise, yeah, you give them a slap on the wrist or a couple of days in nick, they come out heroes, don't they? It's got to stop. It's got to stop. So the police investigation into the criminality would continue, and he pledged his officers would work out who's behind it and what has gone on. Yeah, the Sun already did that. The Sun did that for you. He also vowed those responsible would be brought to justice. Those arrested were held under the tougher new offence of conspiracy to cause a public nuisance, punishable by up to 10 years in jail. It came after National Highways secured an emergency High Court injunction to prevent protesters disrupting the road, acting on the Sun's information. So a High Court injunction sounds pretty serious. I don't know that much about that sort of thing myself, but it sounds serious to me. I'm sure you'll correct me down in the comments. And a tougher new offence of conspiracy to cause a public nuisance, punishable by up to 10 years in jail. I'd love to see it, but I bet I don't. I'd love to see it. I'd love to see him get 5 to 10 years in jail, but I bet I don't. I bet I don't. I bet they get a small slap on the wrist, probably a fine, bit of community service, maybe a couple of days locked up, you never know, and they will come out heroes to their peers, won't they, also in the group, and go on to do more and more bits and plan more and more bits. If that was a guaranteed 10 years in jail, you wouldn't find one of them climbing up a gantry. Not one of them, would you? So what do you reckon about this then? It's an absolute joke, isn't it? And because I use the M25 a fair bit, it does personally affect me. And that's not why I'm cross about it. I'd be cross about it if I never went anywhere near the M25. Because it's just terrorism. In my eyes, this is terrorism, and it should be punishable by terrorism punishments, shouldn't it? Let me know what you think about it down in the comments below. Do you think they're going to get the 10 years? If you know more about this High Court injunction as well, do educate me down in the comments. I'll make sure I read it, and if it's good information, I'll pin it so everybody else can see it as well. And as always, thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, because that way, hopefully, I'll see you in another video again soon, won't I? Ta-da.